We begin our meditation today. Let's center in present moment awareness, in the here and now. Be here and now. And you're centering in your consciousness, your center of pure consciousness. Detach from thinking. The mind is only an instrument of your being, driven by the ego, which is another instrument, the I-making instrument, ahankara. Bring the ego into silence, and as much as you can, bring the ego into surrender, allowing the ego just to rest in beingness, in pure being. That is your empirical state, your base state. And to really detach from all hindrances, use the prana behind the breath. Conscious that breathing is pranayama. Prana moves. To push the breath out, it's called apana vayu. And prana moves to bring the breath in, it's called prana vayu. Vayu means the vital currents. You may feel that you're just physically breathing, but the more attention you give to it, and the more silence you bring your ego into, the more the vayus, the vital currents that operate the breath, will come into your awareness. And in operating the breath, the pranayama, you push the breath out gently and consciously and comfortably, and breathing out completely, letting the shoulders drop, rib cage go in, belly go in, and you breathe right down, taking your attention to the perineum area. And you pause after breathing out until you feel the urge to breathe in again. And then you breathe in slowly, beginning by opening up the belly, including that area below the rib cage. Then you open up the chest, you expand the rib cage, and breathe into the throat area, expanding the shoulders backwards. And then you completely breathe, taking your attention up the spinal column, to the back of the neck, the medulla point, and then go to the third eye. You're also drawing in prana, life force from around you. There's prana everywhere. It's a source of vitality in the universe. So prana vayu pushes the air out. Apana vayu, and prana vayu pulls the air in, expanding the lungs. And these vayus draw the prana from around you into your vital body, which is called a prana maya kosha. Kosha meaning a sheath or a layer. It's the vital body that drives the physical. It's the body that has all the prana vayus, all the vital currents. So more and more, the subtle anatomy will come into your perception. That's why masterful guidance is required. Stay in the silence, I can feel it. Hold the silence and just observe. Now, there may be underlying stresses in the body, in the emotional field, in the mental field. So even though you are doing the pranayama, following the instructions completely, there may still be stresses. And that's why you stay with the breathing, and with the centering, and with the witnessing, the entire experience. Until you begin to feel that peacefulness enveloping your entire being. And you begin to feel that revitalizing feeling that pranayama brings. It's important to note that you can remove physical stresses by going to the vital core, which is the belly area, and focusing the pranayama there. That's a center of fire, power, vitality. It's called the Manipura chakra. The more conscious you become of the subtle anatomy, the more you will feel this energy. Even if you don't feel it now, open up your consciousness, holding the possibility of what is there. Give attention to that point below the rib cage. As you focus on revitalizing navel power, and you go right down to the sacral areas. Tapping into the total vitality of the core area. Stay with me. It's a joy for me to do this, because my body becomes revitalized and I can feel it. You can feel it recharging up the nerves, stronger nerves, more confidence. Body system, physical systems become more revitalized. Besides prana vayu and apana vayu, you have samana vayu, which is the digestive current. You have udana vayu, which is the upward current of energy, like in speaking or coughing. And you have vyana vayu, that operates all the circulatory systems of the body. So these are vital currents in your soul being, in your subtle anatomy, that is called pranamaya kosha. All of these currents you will experience as you develop more awareness. In your witnessing, in the silence, in present moment awareness, and in a field where these energies are active, as in the field we're in now. Stay with me, everybody. Don't go into slumber, lethargy. And for those of you who can feel some vibration or energy at the center of the eyebrows, it's a center of mental power, so you want to give attention to it if it is awakening, becoming active, it allows you more mastery of the mind. And if you want to explore, you can just take your attention there as you breathe in and out. Focusing at the apex of the nose, at the center between the eyebrows. And keeping your attention on the medulla, you have a chance to feel that point as you breathe. The mental center is an extremely important center because the mind drives everything. I learned to quiet the mind by focusing at that point. And the joy comes when you can stay centered at that point between the eyebrows, which is the mental center. Root your ego there in the peacefulness. And then extend your awareness to the heart, for example. And you open up to loving being as you stay centered in that mental space. Opening up the consciousness, the mind, to a loving heart. That brings stability to the heart. And allows the emotions to be managed. Stay with me. You are extending the consciousness of the mind, the power of the mind, to open the heart and to revitalize the nervous system of the heart and your emotional being. Just loving being. And you can hold the consciousness that there is a bubble at the heart, like a balloon at the heart. And as you breathe in, it expands, opening up the heart and opening up the love and compassion and kindness. This beautiful energy. This increases the HRV metric, heart rate variability, reducing stress. It's a stress indicator, the HRV metric. And as you feel stability in the heart, consciousness of the heart, then go right down to the gut, which is another exciting area. With mind power and heart power, open up the gut as you're opening up the huge nervous system of the gut. It's powering up what is called the gut brain. The gut nervous system of the gut operates as a brain. As does the heart. And for me, this is a supreme delight, just to revitalize the entire body. Keep on breathing into the gut, lovingly, open consciousness. Just explore. No expectation, just exploration. Open to every possibility of experience. In a co-created field of heightened energies. Stay with me in the ecstasy of this prana. Recharge. This brings the vitality or the zest for life itself in the human experience. And take your consciousness right down as you open up the gut to the root, to grab the perineum area and contract it more energetically than physically if you can. That brings you very much in touch with the physicality of the body. The bones, the joints, the blood, the muscles, ligaments. And then allow yourself the freedom to explore the field. Focusing on any energy point that you wish to, or any part of your anatomy, in a space of peacefulness, lovingness, and revitalization. Now join me in the silence as we continue this process in the inner space together. The more conscious you stay, the deeper becomes the experience. slowly bring your awareness back to your surroundings. And you do that by beginning with the physical body. Bring your consciousness to the gross nature of the body. Its warmth, its weight, its heaviness, its posture, its connection to the ground, the earth, its connection to the air around you through the lungs, its connection to the sounds around you through the ear, its connection to the space around you through feeling, the skin, its connection to the water element through the tongue, and its connection to light, the fire energy. And now you're becoming consciously connected to the elements of nature in the body and around you. Open up to nature around you in a celebratory way. Delight. As you breathe deeply into the body, physical, as you open up to the beauty of light, you can sense it. As you open up to warmth, as you open up to the smell of your earth plane, open up to the sense of taste and to the experience of water in the body and moisture in the atmosphere. And the soul is experiencing nature through its being. So through its subtle field and gross field. And open up to the presence of a new day. That involves a karmic play, relationships with your world. The invoking of memories and conditioned patterns from within you. And hold the intention to stay aligned to the divine as you navigate the karmic play of this day. Let's create this intention using the power of affirmation as we center. It's a centering, affirmative prayer. I center my consciousness, my ego, my consciousness of self, in the source of my being, the infinite consciousness that holds my being. I center my consciousness there in the very center of my being. Center of the mind, center of the heart, center of my vital being. Center of my physical existence, I center there. That my every thought, my every word, my every action be a source of light and a blessing to my world. My soul stays in gratitude for the gift of life and the spleen and the opportunity of the karmic play to evolve in consciousness and to ultimately be free. I pray most of all for the awareness to understand all of this and the awareness of manifesting the light in the duality of existence. Om. Peace. 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 Namaskar, everyone. Welcome to our active day. And I choose to guide the meditation simply because you can go back and listen to it. Opening up yourself to the guidance. But as I guide you, I'm in the center of the guidance. I'm guiding you from where I am. So everything I say to you comes from that experience that I'm having in my being. So if I say center in the heart, I'm centered there. If I say extend the energy of the heart, I'm extending mine in the space. If I say center in the mind, I center in the silence of the mind. If I say center in the gut, I am centered in the vitality of the gut. If I say root at the perineum, I am rooted there. So I'm sharing my space in the guidance. Doesn't matter when you go back and listen to this. It will carry the same kind of energy as you would have experienced in the actual meditation. That's the beauty of these guidance that I've given over the years. And as I'm inspired to continue to give it to you, I do it. So I'm driven by the universe. That inspiration comes again and again and again and again within my being. And I'm empowered to guide and support you in every possible way. Today I want to speak about the physical body because I think a lot of times it's underestimated, nor is it used as it should be on the spiritual journey. Some of us, we gravitate more to the mind and to the emotional being. And we tend to neglect the physical body. Of course, the physical body will have its challenges. Aging is a major one. The moment we are born, we are on a timeline, a countdown. The physical body is only going to last a certain amount of time. It was designed, as we have read in the science of gerontology, that it's designed for about 120 years. But of course, in the society we live now, with compromised environment, few of us can really live to that ripe age. And then the other thing is that as we grow older, in the early days, 40 years you should be old. Now we have increased the longevity. And we have more youthfulness at older biological age. The body is extremely important for your journey. It clothes your soul. And what is beautiful about the body is it's an intelligent covering of the soul. It is able to function on its own, repairing itself. When you go to sleep, it's really working hard, detoxing, cleansing your system, preparing you for a new day. Cells are doing repair work. And when you meditate and you give attention to the body, that continues, revitalization of the cells, which is really empowering them. Whenever I meditate, it's a boost. And when I practice yoga, as I do, physical yoga, it's an amazing exercise. The stretching, the tensing of the body, the breathing, the twisting and moving. It's amazing. Every time I do it, I celebrate the power of yoga. Because what it does, at the end of the exercise, it makes you more alive, more at peace, and more in harmony throughout the body. You can't beat it. Of course, Qigong exercises or Tai Chi do the same. But yoga is particularly beautiful for me. And the emphasis on pranayama, we can't imagine how important that is. I thrive on it, I live on it. My day begins with pranayama. And when you can really appreciate the prana of the left nostril and the right nostril, it's amazing. I hope that all of you can catch it. Left nostril has a cooling current that's connected to the right brain. And the right nostril has a heating current that's connected to the left brain. And you can actually feel it. Though you don't see me practicing the pranayama in the meditation, but I can do it best by focusing on the heating and cooling currents, the heating and cooling currents of the Ida Pingala, left and right channels. So when I'm meditating, I just focus at the center of the eyebrows, at the medulla point, along the spinal column. It's a left nostril pull. Pause for a moment. I breathe out through the right. With emphasis on the right, focus on the right. And then I breathe in through the right. Pause for a moment. Then you breathe out through the left. Pause. Breathe in through the left. And it's beautiful, that's a cycle. And I can do the same thing physically. Sometimes I do physically as well. And every time you move your body in yoga and you stretch, you need to stay conscious of the body. You need to be able to feel the muscles, the bones. The breath. You're holding it in an expansive consciousness, just like meditation. So every exercise is a delight. When I exercise, I don't exercise by counting, I have to make 24 reps. No. It's a joy of the stress, the release, the breath, the movement. It's a tremendous joy of movement. So exercise becomes a joy. And of course, the breath is an amazing function. And I celebrate drawing air into my lungs and prana into the body. And of course, the breath of fire, it's a kriya, it's a cleansing exercise. And you do it in a managed way. It's not about the repetitions. It's about how you feel. It's about how revitalized the body becomes. The bending, the twisting, the breathing, the consciousness of it. The consciousness is joy, absolute joy. And if you don't stress the bones, how are you going to influence the bone marrow? The muscles, if you don't really power up the muscles, how are you going to keep them active? And they were meant to be active. You have to have better circulation. And whilst I'm doing this, I'm along the spinal column in the mind with the muscular parts of the body. It doesn't matter how compromised the body is, you can still breathe. You can still do certain movements, use them, utilize them, and then the rest will begin to become more active. And when you get up in the morning, don't start with heavy breathing. Go slow. Shh. You warm up the system. I'm very conscious of every movement of the breath, of the body, of the vital energies, the currents. And everything is being done in harmony. This is the beauty of Mahayoga. Of course, Mahayoga is the topic of conversation next week. And I sent out an email to you with information. But the physical body is important. And your soul being, your energy body, is called Sukshma Sharir. It is so integrated with the physical that it's exciting when you can actually feel that integration of nadis and nerves, of chakras and plexuses. Right now, in my consciousness, I'm observing every experience, and I'm tensing my body in a beautiful way that I can actually feel the presence of my bones. And if I want to do bone marrow breathing, I just focus on when in breath, breathing out energy. As I breathe in, I take my attention from the bones to the skin. And as I breathe out, I take my attention from the skin to the bones. From bones to skin. Skin to bones. Bones to skin. Skin to bones. And I'm holding my body tense, so I'm really into bone breathing. This energizes bone marrow. And of course, bone marrow is responsible for those healthy red blood cells. This is a joy to do. So it's important to really understand how to drive the physical from the subtle body. It's such a beauty. In my leader teachings, this is going to become extremely important because this is what I practice every day. And I want to, I need to, I must, if I'm to carry this body to its fullest span for purpose, to fulfill my purpose on this plane. And in leaving the body when the time comes, I want to leave the body gloriously. I don't want the body to shut down on me. I want to use all my resources, everything that I know. I want to use it to maintain a healthy and active body, driven by my subtle body. Leaving the body is amazingly easy. Because the more you're centered in subtle consciousness, you will feel waves and waves of joy as you leave the body. The body will look shutting down. The body will look different. But you will be in joy as you come out of the body. So there's no need to fear death. If in the meditation you can already feel the expansion of the consciousness, you're already in that dying process. Of course, the karmas hold us. And those who have had near-death experiences, they talk about how the other space is so beautiful. They don't want to come back. They have to come back to this cold world of duality. So don't fear death. It's more important to deal with life. And it's more important to be able to channel energies, prana, through the body, life force through the body, to keep it as healthy as possible. I mean, that is the important thing. Doesn't matter what physical compromise we have. We surround it with a lot of prana, a lot of vitality, a lot of mind power. Mind power is prana too. Breath is pranic power. Intention is prana. So my teachings are going to focus more on well-being. Of course, enlightenment. But how can enlightenment happen with poor well-being? And especially in this path of Mahayoga with Kundalini Mahayoga, you're going to find that you need a healthy body for these currents to move up the spine and to open up the centers. You need a healthy body. So let's try to stay healthy. And please read my mail from last evening. I look forward to a marvelous conversation next week around Mahayoga. We'll stay with that topic for a while until I feel that you have gotten the essence of it and it can become alive in you. So let your life be a blessing to your world as you grow more and more in the light. Manifest it. Let it flow through your activities. Let it flow through your voice, through your eyes, through your touch, through your thoughts. Be a blessing to your world, not a burden. And no matter how compromised you may feel, what he speaks about seems so far away. No. The fact that you are listening to it means that the universe is reaching out to you. And the fact that you can understand some of what I'm saying, the universe is reaching out to you. Believe in the possibility. You wouldn't meet me, or you wouldn't be listening to this, or even appreciating it, if you were not ready for it in some way. So believe in your possibilities. Believe in yourself. Believe in the karmic play. I live the truth of it. Let me inspire you as much as I can. With these words, I'm going to wish you a marvelous Sunday wherever you are, and to say that life is beautiful. Regardless, there is no death. And the soul is a soul of light, not darkness. There's no death. You came into the body at birth. You live in the confines of a physical body, which is a vehicle for the soul's evolution. And you're going to leave the body. I pray that you will leave the body a more evolved soul. And more fulfilled. Have a blessed day, everyone. Namaskar.